Welcome to this YouTube channel. In this video we are going to talk about 10 world records that you can't repeat. So before starting this video, like this video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future updates. The desire to be famous is a basic human instinct. All of us seek fame, even if it's for a small period of time. One of the best ways to become famous is to set a world record. Every day, people all over the world are trying to set a unique world record or trying to beat one. They are pushing on every set of boundaries. As a result, the world of records is ever changing and becoming more and more unbelievable. Some world records are immensely creative, while some are just plain bizarre. Here are 10 world records you can't repeat. Number 10. A New Jersey woman rolled a pair of dice 154 times, continuously at a craps table without losing. Her 154 roll winning streak is now a world record. The probability of this occurring was roughly 1 in 1.56 trillion. Craps is a gambling game that is played in virtually every casino in the world. It is played with 2 dice. The player can roll until the dice add up to 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, or 10. When a shooter rolls a 7, the turn ends. Craps is actually a game of chance rather than skill, and even novices can win if they are lucky. Its house advantage is 1.4%, which makes it harder to win it than some other gambling games like blackjack. On the 23rd of May 2009, a new world record was set at the craps table in a casino of Atlantic City. Patricia Demereaux, a grandmother from New Jersey, set the record by rolling a pair of dice 154 times continuously without throwing a 7. The chance of this happening is roughly 1 in 1.56 trillion. According to Thomas Cover, a Stanford University statistics professor, the probability of this outcome is smaller than getting struck by lightning, 1 in million, or even winning the lottery, 1 in 100 million. Number 9. On January 22, 1943, the temperature in Spearfish, South Dakota, set a world record when it changed from -4 degrees Fahrenheit to 45 degrees Fahrenheit in just 2 minutes. The change was caused by a Chinook wind which increased the temperature eventually up to 54 degrees Fahrenheit before dying down and dropping the temperature back to -4 degrees Fahrenheit. In the interior west of North America, a dry, warm wind blows known as Chinook winds. If it blows strongly, it can evaporate 1 foot deep snow within 24 hours. The Chinook winds caused one of the fastest recorded changes in temperature ever in the world. The incident occurred on the 22nd of January 1943 in Spearfish, South Dakota. At about 7:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, the temperature in the city was -4 degrees Fahrenheit, -20 degrees Celsius. At that moment, a Chinook wind started blowing at a rapid speed. Within 2 minutes the temperature rose to 45 degrees Fahrenheit, 7 degrees Celsius. It is the world's fastest recorded temperature change ever, and it holds true even today. At 9 a.m., the temperature was recorded at 54 degrees Fahrenheit, 12 degrees Celsius. After that, the Chinook wind died down suddenly, and within 27 minutes the temperature plummeted back to -4 degrees Fahrenheit, -20 degrees Celsius. This sudden change in temperature caused cracks in glass windows and car windshields frosted over. Number 8. There is an official world record for time traveling which is held by cosmonaut Sergei Krikalev, who has spent more than 803 days in orbit around Earth. As per Einstein's theories of relativity, this would mean Sergei effectively has traveled about 22.68 milliseconds forward in time. Time travel has inspired generations both in real life and in fiction. While the world of fiction has gone ahead of real life by launching characters like Doctor Who, in reality, we are far from achieving any success. Or are we? The truth is that there are some people who have time traveled even, though it is only for a few hundredths of a second. The current official world record for time traveling is held by Russian cosmonaut Sergei Krikalev. Sergei Krikalev had spent a total of 803 days, 9 hours, and 39 minutes in space. While he was in space, he experienced less gravitational time dilation, because he was further from the center of Earth than the people on the ground. This means in space, his time ran slightly faster. So, when he came back to Earth, he actually came back to the past. Taking into consideration the total time Sergei Krikalev had spent in space, he had traveled 0.02 seconds into his own future. Number 7. The world record for keeping a pair of ferrets in your pants is 5 hours and 30 minutes. It is set by 76-year-old retired school teacher Frank Bartlett. Keeping ferrets trapped in one's trousers is an endurance test or sport that originated in England a long time ago. In this sport, the contestants tie the trousers around their ankles. Then they place ferrets inside the trousers and tie it securely with belts. Sans their underwear, the contestants try to endure the claws and teeth of ferrets for the longest possible time. The last one to release the animals becomes the winner. Currently, the person who holds the world record in this competition is 76-year-old Frank Barlett. He set the world record in 2010, when he managed to keep a ferret down his trousers for 5 hours and 30 minutes. Number 6. Burt Munro, a motorcycle racer and subject of the movie, created the under-1000cc world record of 296.2593 km per hour, 184.087 miles per hour, at Bonneville in 1967, which stands to this day. He was 68 years old and was riding a 47-year-old bike. Burt Munro was a motorcycle racer from New Zealand. His motorcycle, an Indian Scout, was a 1919 model with the top speed of 89 km per hour. Since Munro bought it in 1920, he called it a 1920 model. Not satisfied with the speed of the Indian, he began modifying it. Working in his garden shed, Munro developed his beloved motorcycle over a period of 46 years. Finally, on the 26th of August 1967, 68-year-old Munro rode his 47-year-old streamlined Indian, and set a world record in the category streamlined motorcycles under 1000cc. His record speed at that time was 295.453 km per hour, 183.59 miles per hour. In 2014, his son John noticed a calculation error and upon correction, it was found to be 296.2593 km per hour, 184.087 miles per hour. To this date, no one has been able to break Munro's record. Number 5. In 1958, two pilots flew an aircraft for more than 2 months without landing, while refueling by matching speed with a fuel truck driving down a road. Their record has not been broken. A flight endurance record is the longest time an aircraft spent in flight without landing. During the year 1958, two pilots decided to make a flight endurance record using a Cessna 172. The pilots, Robert Tim and John Cook, took off from McCarran Airfield in Las Vegas. During their flight, food and water were supplied by a chase car with a matching speed. The supplies were hoisted aboard with a rope and bucket. The plane was refueled time and again by hoisting a hose from the fuel truck up to the aircraft. During refueling, the driver of the truck steered the vehicle, while another person kept up with the plane's speed with his foot on the truck's accelerator pedal. Using these techniques, the two pilots managed to spend 64 days, 22 hours, 19 minutes, and 5 seconds in flight. They landed at McCarran Airfield on February 7, 1959, after creating a world record that remains intact even today. Number 4. Glyn Wolfe, a Baptist minister from California, held the record for most monogamous marriages, 29, with his shortest marriage lasting 19 days. The world's most married man is Glyn Scotty Wolfe. Glyn was a Baptist minister who married 29 times. His longest marriage was for 11 years to his 28th wife. His shortest marriage lasted only 19 days. Out of his 29 marriages, 3 of his marriages were to those women whom he had divorced previously. In 1936, Glyn divorced Charlotte Devane and then married her again later in the same year. In 1948, he divorced Catherine Archer and remarried her the next year. He did the same thing with his wife Sharon Goodwin, divorced her in 1959 and remarried her in 1960. One of Glyn's spouses, Linda Essex Wolfe, holds the record of being the world's most married woman. She had married 23 times. Glyn passed away a few days before his 89th birthday. He is survived by 19 children, 40 grandchildren, and 19 great-grandchildren. Number 3. Sitting on top of flagpoles was a fad in the mid to late 1920s. In this fad, people would compete to see who could break records for endurance sitting. The world record is 51 days, 20 hours. In 1924, a stunt actor, Alvin Kelly, sat on a flagpole for 13 hours. This stunt gained him popularity, and soon pole sitting became a fad. Pole sitting emerged as an endurance test with multiple competitors trying to break the previous record. The person wishing to take part sat on the top of a pole or flagpole for extended lengths of time. The top of the pole contained a small platform for the sitter. After Alvin, many people sat on the pole and broke his record. In 1929, Alvin decided to reclaim his title and sat on a flagpole for 49 days. But his record did not survive long. The next year, in 1930, Alvin's record was broken by Bill Penfield. Bill sat on A for 51 days 20 hours and only came down after a thunderstorm forced him to. Since then, no one had been able to break his record. Also, the fad of pole sitting vanished with the onset of the Great Depression. Number 2. Pedro Lascarin, 34th President of Mexico, holds the record for the shortest presidency in the world. He was in office for less than an hour. Pedro Lascarin was a Mexican politician. He is well noted in history due to his extremely short term of presidency. The events leading to Lascarin's presidency started unfolding after the 19th of February 1913, when General Victoriano Huerta overthrew President Francisco I. Madero. Huerta couldn't be the president immediately as according to the 1857 Constitution of Mexico, the next in line to the presidency was the vice president. The vice president was followed by the attorney general, the foreign secretary, and the interior secretary. So, Huerta ousted the then vice president and attorney general. Pedro Lascarin was the foreign secretary at that time. Huerta decided to make Lascarin the president, so that he could appoint Huerta as his interior secretary. On February 19, 1913, Pedro Lascarin became the president of Mexico. His presidency lasted less than an hour. To this day, Lascarin's presidency is the shortest in history. Number 1. The largest free kitchen in the world on record is the Golden Temple in India. The kitchen produces 138 chapatis per minute and is run by volunteers. It receives more visitors than the Taj Mahal, and provides free meals to anyone from any religion, race, or background. About 500 years ago, Guru Nanak, the first Sikh guru, said, "There is no Hindu, and there is no Muslim." With his belief that all are equal before God, the Sikh faith was born. The feeling of equality and oneness emerged as Langar, a free community kitchen where everyone, regardless of religion or social status, can sit together and eat the same food. The living example of the rejection of caste in the Sikh faith is the Langar at Golden Temple. Located in Amritsar, India, the Golden Temple houses the world's largest kitchen, where an average of 100,000 free meals are served every single day of the year. On holy days, about 150,000 meals are served, and not a penny is charged. No one is turned away, and the food never runs out. Everyone gets a wholesome, vegetarian meal. The food is cooked and served by volunteers. Anyone can volunteer for the kitchen work in the world's largest kitchen. While most of the work is done by hand, the kitchen has a mechanized oven, and a conveyor belt that turn out 200,000 chapatis on daily basis. What do you think of our video? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go for future updates.